Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in Columbus, Ohio. In the previous episode, we beat the New York Islanders, but before we get to all the hockey, all the NHL 20 content today, I want to talk for a few seconds. Now, I know this doesn't seem like a different episode for you, but for me, it's a little bit different. If you didn't know, I was actually in Newfoundland for the last 7 days. Haven't recorded in over 9 days. So all the last bunch of episodes you watched, if you haven't watched them, go ahead and watch them. There's a few things you might have missed. The last few episodes have been all pre-recorded because I didn't want to miss a day. I didn't want my momentum to stop rolling. So everybody who's been commenting, liking the videos, sharing them, subscribing, I really appreciate the support. We hit 165 last time I checked, we're going to hit 200 before the end of February, and I'm proud of us. And there's a lot of things coming to this channel. I think the week break really helped me get back into the swing of things, made me want to create content, because before I left for Newfoundland, I was like, it's kind of getting stale for me. So coming back and everything being fresh, everything being new, everything feeling right again, I'm happy and I'm ready to jump back into creating content. I'm so excited for things to come. This series is coming to a close relatively soon. But that does mean there is a new series on the rise, I believe, in the next day or two. I'm not sure. I'm kind of a procrastinator. I will be putting up a poll, or straw poll, on my YouTube channel. Or I guess I'll just make a video and then put a link to it. Yeah, but I want you to vote on the next team we will be using in a franchise mode, and I think that is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a fun series. This is basically the first fully fledged series I've done on my YouTube channel. I mean, you can go back and watch my NHL 17 Vancouver Canucks franchise mode, which was just awful. I think this next series is going to be me at my best. I mean, Columbus, it's been great. But I am excited to jump into something new. I know you're like, man, stop. You're getting emotional, man. You're making me emotional. Of course I'm emotional. Because this next few episodes, man, it's not going to be that much longer until this series is over and done with. And you might be like, well, it probably should have ended before. I gotta wait until Jeffrey freaking Woodworth is retired. And you know what? Let's get back on track. I'm done talking about my life. I should probably do that in another video. You're here for the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I have to reintroduce myself to this team because it's been a week, and my memory is sort of meh. So looky, I do remember recording the first round series against Carolina and how frustrated I was against this team. First, 2 losses. Oh my God! Don't even get me started. I can still feel it in my heart. Those 2 losses there. Woo! But then we evened out. We played a bit better, even though 3 goals against for the next 3 games. But we still won 4 straight, which was huge. I think after the game number 2 loss there against Carolina, I hit best lines, and we've just been rolling with it ever since. So a game 1 loss to the Islanders, I was upset about that. Every time we lose in the playoffs, I get upset because we are usually always better than the team we are facing. I've only faced 2 or 3 teams that I've been like, yeah, they're 100% better than us. No, every team we fought in like the last 4 years, I've been like, we're so much better. Their defensive core is nothing. Their offensive core, they have a few stars. Goaltending, you never know because it's always up in the air. But today we're in the Eastern Conference Finals against a former rival. 49, 28, and 5 in the regular season. They kind of stumbled into the playoffs, sort of like us, 6-2-2, which isn't a bad record. 6-4-0 for them. But if you don't know our history with Tampa Bay, let's take it all the way back to 2019. The 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs, IRL. The 62-win Tampa Bay Lightning head to the Stanley Cup playoffs in the first round against the last wild card team in the Columbus Blue Jackets. Nobody, not one person thought Columbus would win that series, even sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning. And once we jumped in this franchise mode, we fought them 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, bunch of times. Usually in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they would always get the better of us. Always. And I'm hoping that history is finally on our side. We have beaten them before, but you never know. I turned my PS4 off for a week, so it might not be on my side. Okay? And I just have to reintroduce myself to all these players. Let's talk about a freaking legend, Matthew freaking Savoie, 93 overall. Still got that medium elite or exact elite potential. First line forward, 38 years of age. Did I say he's 38? Playmaking legend. How many career points? He hit 2,000. This year. What a freaking beast. Oh my God, 21 points in 11 games throughout the playoffs so far. Our offense has been phenomenal. Last series was just crazy how good our offense was. Defense has been a little... There are some weak points on this team that I'm like, why is that so weak? But the highest of highs on this team are just phenomenal. And speaking of phenomenal, the captain... 39 years of age, he'll be 40 pretty soon, I believe, in the offseason if he doesn't decide to retire. 12 goals in 11 games. In the playoffs. And no game winners, which is kind of crazy. I don't get that. So right now, he's just a 5-on-5 machine. If we need somebody to score, it's gonna be him or Matthew Savoie. There is no question about that. These two are Hall of Famers. There's probably a few other Hall of Famers on this team at this point, but man, oh man, first ballot, they might go out together and they want one more Stanley Cup. One more. Just one more Stanley Cup is all they want. Maybe two. I want more than one more, but because we still have a few years left in this franchise mode, but they want to go out on top. Jeffrey Woodworth, this is the victory lap for him, man. My God, what else does this dude have to prove? 2,265 career points in under 2,000 games? Oh, he's the best in the world. MP3 has been quite solid. These three players right here, all coming up very clutch, and they've been quieter. Khalil Fallon has 2 game-winning goals, and I'm going to talk about him here in a moment. He's 34. There's a few things I have to bring up about him. Bobby Friesen has been excellent. This is a guy in the regular season that I'm like, he didn't step up to that level that I wanted him to be at. We gave him a bunch of time to succeed, playing with Kovalev, playing with a bunch of top-tier guys that he should have produced with, but ultimately he didn't end up producing the way I wanted him to. He's putting up 50 assists every year, right? He's not even in his prime yet. He's 22. I'm hoping once Savoie is gone, Bobby Friesen will be able to step up and play all those extra lines, power play, penalty kill, all the extra lines. I want him to be the man. And being a playoff performer is nothing to laugh at. 11 assists, yes, you are helping out, obviously. And 3 of those points coming on the power play. So obviously, he's been a key part to our success so far. Let's not skip over MP3, okay? 27, he just turned 27, I believe. He actually grew a bit. Second line forward, top 6 potential, so he dropped. Don't get that. He had one of the best seasons of his career, so EA, explain yourself. I don't get that. Guy is a machine. Okay, when it says he's a sniper, he goes out and has 9 assists in 11 games. But he's been good. And I believe he's currently our top line left winger. I haven't checked the line so far, so my brain's a little fogged at the moment. So I'm going to go in reintroduce myself. But as you see right there, Jeffrey Woodworth is shooting 32%, which is probably going to die down a bit. But if I want to make it through this episode with my heart intact, I'm going to need him to keep producing at that pace. Okay, Khalil Fallon is a man I want to talk about. 2 game-winning goals, 12 points in 11 games, 10 assists, 87 overall. So that means he's dropping. He's down to a top 6 potential, so I wonder if he's going to be a player that nosedives quicker than others, because Savoie, Jeffrey Woodworth, they stayed pretty high overall until 36 years of age, so Khalil Fallon's probably dipping off a lot quicker. Similar to Big Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Big Texas, we had him on a really awesome contract. He was 84 overall one year, and then the next he just dipped down. His production was awful, even though he was in the same position. It happens. Some players just die down quicker than others, but he's still a really solid player. Obviously, he's not been a detriment to this team so far. So as long as he continues to help us out, I can't be too upset. $11 million is a bit pricey for an 87 overall, so that might be something to consider, but he is going to be one of our better forwards heading into the future once we lose guys like Savoie, Woodworth. Right. Yuri Kovalev, who I'm going to have to re-sign to a contract today because I did check that out. The one thing I actually checked out was that. Contract extensions. I really like this guy. My big meh with him, big gripe with him was how iffy he was defensively. This year he was a plus 31. And he played the entire season with us. 45 goals. Man, oh man, he's one off of 400. This postseason, he has 7 goals. 11 points total. He has been so good. Going into the future, I want a guy like this on my team to help shape the younger players. A guy like Bobby Friesen, who I want to stick those two guys together. If you have a pure sniper and a pure playmaker playing together, they should be pretty solid, and you can fill up the left wing with whoever you want. They should be able to produce, and I think once they get the first line chance, they'll be really good together. And apparently, most of the season it did say he was a second line forward, but apparently he's a first line forward now, and I totally get that. This guy is so good. I don't know who I would compare him to. He's got a rocket shot. If you see his wrist shot and slap shot accuracy, he's going to score goals at will. His puck skills, not the best, but his offensive and defensive awareness are crazy. His skating is also really good. I really like this guy. I want to keep him on. We'll obviously have the cap space to bring him back, but I want to offer him the contract this episode because this is such an awesome guy to have on the roster. He scores goals at will, and he's going to take over the position for Jeffrey Woodworth pretty soon, and I'm hoping he can step up to the plate. He's really good. He could be a perennial 50-goal scorer if we play him the right amount of time. And a surprise this year, Kyler Hemingway. I never expect too much offense from my bottom 6 in the playoffs. It doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, we usually succeed. Obviously, we would succeed if our bottom 6 was rolling pretty well, but seeing a guy like Kyler Hemingway go out, have a decent plus-minus, having 6 points in 11 games, as a fourth liner, not getting nearly as much ice time as everybody else, half of what Kovalev is getting, right? He's putting up half the amount of points he is. So he's been a really good fourth line center, and you know how I feel about playmakers playing on the fourth line in a defensive role. Rarely works, but he's been a really solid fourth line center for the last 2 years now, and I want to make sure I keep him on because I really like him. I really do, and I want to keep him on. Melvin Rodriguez, 5 points, 11 games. As a fourth, he's upset, actually, I think. He dropped to an 80 overall. He's a third liner. We get a lot of guys like this who are just NHL ready, but they don't produce at a stable enough production production level, and he's just over being a prospect. I don't know who to compare him to IRL right now, but I'm sure if my brain would work, I could do that. But it's currently 1:30 in the morning, and I'm recording an episode that's supposed to go out today because I'm like that sometimes. But he's not a prospect anymore. I do like him as a player. I think overall I can shape him into being a really solid bottom six player, but I'm not sure about him just yet. He's got to prove himself. Matt Goring, who has been kind of disappointing, 5 assists in 11 games. It's not bad. Wish he would score a few goals, but the big thing right now for me is -2. I know he's an 81 overall. He's a fourth line forward. That's all I really want him for. The -2 could be anything, It's plus minus is a terrible stat to use against players or for players, But in this game, EA logic dictates that he's not doing the best defensively. So that's something to keep in mind. Alexander Mironov, not great. He has not been good, and that is the first time I'm actually seeing that. I'm kind of disappointed with the rookies so far. So the rookies are not having a strong time defensively. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just really young, and that has something to do with it. I also got a few suggestions in the previous few episodes. I'm sorry for not responding to a bunch of comments, but I was in a different province, and I really didn't have my PS4, or I didn't have internet for a few days, but it tends to happen. One of my loyal subscribers was saying, the coach at Lindstrom and Mironov and Silverberg and Luke Wheeler don't really fit the scheme fits for the coaches. So that is something going forward to look at. Maybe this offseason we look at a coach that would come in and fill it a bit better, especially if we're going into the future with a younger core. I want to make sure that we represent the young guys pretty well. So Mironov, Lindstrom, and Silverberg could do a bit better, but we won the previous 2 rounds. We're here in the Eastern Conference Finals, so I'm expecting better. Lindstrom, I hope he steps up. I think he's going to be a really solid player coming into the future. He's got an awesome shot. We only got to give him the time, okay? He's 19. He's a rookie. Mironov is going to win the Calder. Okay, exactly. Defense, let's talk about it. Abel Carlos, and somebody was in my comment section saying, you're not saying Abel Carlos right. And you know what I have to say to that? He's Canadian. I'll say it however I want. Abel Carlos. How else do you want me to say it? Abel Carlos. Is that how you want me to say it? I'm going to say how I want to say it. Like, also, if I want to say Jeffrey Woodworth, I'll say it the way I want, because it's my franchise mode. Thank you. If I record and edit my videos, I'm going to say the name I want. Abel Carlos. Like, how else would you say that? Abel Carlos. Do you want me to put an accent on it? Because I will. Okay? Not because you want me to. Because I want to. Okay? 8 points in 11 games. He can't get much better. He's had a fantastic season. I think he's just going to be short of Norris this year. There's been a few incredible defensemen this year. 61 points in 82 games is really, really good. Plus 54. He's a top 2 defenseman for sure. He's our best defenseman right now. 8 points in 11 games. 2 game-winning goals. Keep that in mind. Okay? 2 game-winning goals. He has been very important. Okay? And he's only going to get more important throughout the next 2 rounds, if we make it that far, hopefully. Mikko Jarvinen is solid as always, and 7 points is a nice add-on to that 1-game winner. I always want him to be solid defensively, but him putting up the second most amount of points defensively is really, really important to me, and that is huge for us going forward. Walker Farmer, solid defensively, a lot of penalty minutes, so he's put us into some holes recently. Chance Walker, not bad. 2 points, 11 games. Plus minus is at a 0. Luke Wheeler, 1 point. He is a +3, though he is injured. 81 overall, so he must have got... Okay. That'll be something to look at. I can't recall that happening. He's got a bomb shot, though. My God. Hope he's not hurt for long. Magnus Lundstrom, -3. That's not great, but we will look at that. Goaltending. Now, Kavanaugh, let's talk. You've been rough so far. You know, you've looked rougher in previous years. 8 wins through 11 games. That's all I can really ask for. 35 years of age, you're catching Martin Brodeur. Okay, I want to keep you here in Columbus, but you want to make me happy. You got to get a bit better. 908 could always be better, but it could be worse. We might not be here right now without a few of your really good performances. And by really good, I mean the casual 3-1 victory, okay? But we're going to need you heading into the Eastern Conference Finals against a team that I am always going to be scared of. They don't have Stamkos, they don't have Kucherov, they don't have a few other guys that I am absolutely terrified of. But who are their weapons right now as it stands? I'm unsure what they look like. Oh, okay. Oh, this is giving me a headache. Let's start at the top. Camden Tennell. Tennell. Is he Canadian? He's American. I don't know how I'm going to say that. Camden Tennell. First line forward, 89 overall. I believe you're one of the best playmakers in the league. 76 assists, 89 a few years ago. You are a damn fine player, and I understand. Oh my God. Okay. Colby Binjorg. Nope. Second line forward, 86 overall. Yeah, that first line. Let's talk about Keegan Threffel. 93 overall. Former Detroit Red Wing. Oh, this guy. This is the guy that I'm going to be scared of this entire round. Hey, if we walk out with a W, or 4 W's to be exact, this guy's going to leave his mark. 102 points, perennial 100-point player for the last 3 years in Tampa Bay. Detroit's just a sad, sad place. But I remember him always being a really low overall and not amounting to his potential. But in Tampa Bay, he looks to be having a solid career so far. Second line, Javin Pan, Damian Alberts, and Krebishkov. That is a weirdly assembled second line. Alberts looks to be pretty solid two-way forward, so he's definitely going to help them defensively. But I wonder why they don't put that third line on the second line and switch them. Because you got Emanen, Clemenson, and then you got Heatley. Maddox Heatley, son of Danny Heatley, the all-star. What a beauty. Okay. I wonder if they're trying something there. They know their first line's just going to be dynamite. But I think our best chance of winning the series as it stands is punching a hole through their second and fourth line. Their fourth line, Nestorov, not the best center, young guy. Can probably get a bit better, but I'm not really scared of him. Ennis and Marquardt. What kind of name is that? Eric Marquardt. Oh my God. I'm done. Stop it. Defense. I've seen worse. Okay. Yves Herbert. Fred Corso. You got James, Henley, Cashman, and Fash. Whatever. I can't speak English today. Their top two defensemen here in Herbert and Corso are damn good, and some of the best defensemen I've seen on teams in quite a long time. I really see the really good defensive core, and after the first pairing, it isn't the best, but I have seen worse. So their top two guys are definitely their anchor there on the D-men, on the D side. Personally, I would have split them up just to counteract how bad the other guys are. I'm not sure how they simulate, but they're here in the Eastern Conference Finals somehow, but it always comes down to goaltending, doesn't it? Starting goaltender is AJ Sasky. What a name. Apparently an elite goalie, former Los Angeles Kings, and they got Asher Peters. Oh, I've met Asher Peters before. Okay, I see how it is. Scratch players are Morin, Pronger, and Vishnevsky. Okay. I see what you're doing there, Tampa Bay, and I'm going to check my lines here real quick just to be sure everything is okay. And I do want to sign Kovalev to a contract. I'll make sure I do that, actually. Okay, Murphy was thrown in. I got to check how long he's injured for. I'm not sure how long he's going to be gone for, but that sucks. That does suck. Is there anybody in the AHL that would jump up? Vikland? I'll just go with the guy that we have right now. Before we start the simulation of the third round, I will go to view contracts, and I'm going to sign Kovalev before the offseason, just in case he asks for like $13 million, and currently he's asking for 9.475. And personally, I'm okay with giving him less than that. For 4 years, brings him up to 36. I think he's going to be a good offensive player throughout the rest of his career, so I don't think that hurts us. Obviously, we don't want him to be in a defensive role, because why would we do that to a sniper? So we're going to give him... you know what, I'll round it up. 8.1 over 4 years. I think he's worth way more than that. I hope he thinks we're not lowballing him, because we totally are. A guy who is going to score goals, who could have won the Maurice Richard Trophy a few years ago until we brought him over to this team and he kind of lost his mojo. Even though he did end up scoring 50 goals that year. I digress. He's really good, and I'm glad that we have the possibility of keeping around for a bit longer. But before we get to the offseason, we have a bit of playoff magic. Magic? What am I saying? It's too late to be talking, but I'm here, doing my job. Round number 3, we're already 27 minutes into this video. Hopefully, it's a quick series in our favor. First period, 1-0. Jeffrey freaking Woodworth, 13 goals in 12 games, keeping it going. Sasky, you can't stop the man. They actually outshoot us 11-10 through 20, but I will take the 1-0 lead. Second period. Max Heatley, the all-star on the power play. They still outshoot us by 5, 23-18. It's all tied up, baby. Here in Columbus, hopefully. God is on our side today. Come on, Columbus. They are outshooting us. They're running away in that category, but MP3 pots a 2-1 lead. Power play for Tampa Bay. Oh my God, who's taking penalties? We managed to kill it off. But this is a very close one. Pan, their second line center, somehow ties this game up. But Murphy, the guy we kept in instead of Luke Wheeler, looks to get the game winner, and he does. Now, that is a story. Murphy with the 1 goal, his first ever career goal in the playoffs. Kavanagh with a very solid game. I don't want to give him too much credit. But Murphy, oh Murphy, Lord have mercy. That is the biggest goal you'll ever score. Kovalev has agreed to his contract. 4 more years in Columbus, Ohio. And that is exactly what I love to see. Game number 2, Nationwide Arena. We have the series advantage, 1-0. First period. 1-0. Yuri Kovalev, fresh off his new contract. 35 seconds remaining in the period, if I'm not mistaken. Now that is how you start off the game. They are obliterating us in the shot category. Up by 13, 18-5. Kavanagh is doing all he really can. Sasky's probably got to tighten it up there. But we are currently in the lead. Second period. Oh, it got worse for them. Jeffrey Woodworth, 14 goals in 13 games for the captain. And Matt Goldring makes it 3-0. I wanted him to get a goal, and he got a goal. That is what I'm talking about. Matt Goring, you beautiful bastard, you. They still outshoot us 25-15, but we are winning this game handily right now. We are running away with it. Come on, Tampa Bay. You just don't do anything there. Columbus, just slow it down. Power play for Tampa. Don't give them absolutely anything. Halfway through the third period with a 3-0 lead. Hold on to it. Don't give them anything. Grebeshkov scores, breaking the shutout for Kavanagh, but it looks like, I don't want to say anything, but we will take a 2-0 series advantage heading to Tampa. My mistake. Kavanagh with 2 solid games there, and I will take it. Close games, but they were in our favor the majority of the time in the draft class. I don't care about. I haven't seen Matthew Savoie's name too much this series, but I'm sure as we move along, it'll be okay. Edmonton and the Avalanche are actually tied in the West. Game number 3, we're here at the Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay, Florida. You know how scary Florida gets. Hopefully we can walk out with a W first period. Oh my God, the gates to goal-scoring heaven were opened in that first period. Matthew Savoie on the power play. I asked for a goal from him. He got one. Lundstrom makes it 2-0, and Bobby Friesen makes it 3-0. But they're like, hey, we got to get a few goals there for Tampa Bay. Not even going to say that. Tennell makes it a 1-goal game. Shots are pretty close, 11-10 in our favor. Yikes, they scored 2 quick ones. But we have a lead. Probably should be 3-0. You can't do that, Kavanagh. You can't give up 2 quick ones like that. But the same goes for Sasky. Second period. 4-3, so it's basically the same score. Tampa Bay ties it up, but Chance Walker takes the lead. It's 4-3. Shots are in our favor, 28-21. So the game that they aren't bombarding us with shots, it's closer. And their goaltender isn't as good. Explain that to me. Third period, here we go. Here we go, boys. Slow it down. Make it your game. You know you're the better team. Tampa Bay with the power play. You kill it off. Okay, this is too close for comfort, but MP3, here's my whispers and my prayers, making it a 2-goal game halfway through the third. Come on. Come on, boys. Slow it down. Chance Walker, his second of the evening, if I'm not mistaking. What am I doing? Why am I speaking? This should just be no commentary on this video. Chance Walker, 3 points. 3 points for Friesen as well, and 4 for Fallon. Big game from all of them. That is exactly what I need to see from all the players on this team. We take a commanding 3-0 series lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we've been in this position before, I think. And they tried to reverse sweep us, I think. It's happened, or maybe I'm having a terrible nightmare, and that's never happened before. So Luke Wheeler is back. I actually want to check how Murphy did in his games. That's not Murphy. Murphy, +5, 1 goal. That's not bad. So he was reliable in those 3 games, okay? Regular season, he only played 1 game, right? So there's not much to go off of. But if somebody does get hurt, he's proved himself a little bit. 1 really important goal for him was the game winner. Biggest goal he'll ever score. But we have a chance to end the Tampa Bay Lightning in 4 on their home ice. Just do it. Come on, boys. Let's head back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's frickin' do this, boys and girls. If there's any girls watching, why? I mean, hockey's for everyone. But you're listening to this sexy voice. Hit me up. I'm on Twitter. First period. 1-1. Pan scores first, opening the scoring for Tampa Bay on their home ice. That's exactly what the fans wanted. But Yuri Kovalev ties the game. Shots are in our favor, 13-8. Okay, second period. It's an even game. We outshoot them by 10. 29-19. So the goalies are just standing on their heads. Sasky more than Kavanaugh for sure. It's a tie game. They are holding on by a thread. We want to head back to the Stanley Cup Final for the second straight year. Let's do this. Come on. Third period, boys. Come on. Somebody come out clutch. I know one of you want to. Power play for Tampa Bay. We kill it off. That is Big Bobby Friesen. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Power play for Columbus. Khalil Fallon on the power play. Tennell scores. And Trefall ties it just like that. Kavanaugh. No, man. Kovalev! Kovalev! Finish him! Oh, Kovalev. You dirty, rotten bastard, you. Kovalev, 3 points, 2 goals, a game winner. And we are headed back to the Stanley Cup Finals. And that is exactly what I wanted to see from the boys in purple. Kovalev coming up clutch. Kavanaugh having an iffy end of that game, but it was not enough momentum for Tampa Bay. Yuri Kovalev's like, oh, you want to head back to Columbus? No, we're going to head back to Columbus, but we going to be partying the entire way. But the real question is, who will we be facing in the Stanley Cup Finals? It will be the Colorado Avalanche. That should be an interesting series. I have no idea what they look like. 46, 32, and 4. That'll be an interesting episode. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment, share with people who you think may enjoy this sort of thing. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.